In this video, you're going to learn how to make these great book page balls. On my channel, I have a few projects that you can use book pages for, and these are a great one, whether you just make the balls or you make a topiary tree. So you're going to need some sort of ball. You could use a ping pong ball or a polystyrene ball like I have. Mine's 2 inches across, but you can make them any size you like. You're going to need some sort of glue. Now I recommend a hot melt glue, or like I'm using a cool melt glue because it's instant. And you're going to need your book pages. You can see I've already used this book for some other projects. Doesn't matter what sort of book it is, doesn't matter what size it is, so long as it's big enough to get your circles out of. You're going to need a lot of paper circles, so I recommend a punch, which might be a simple circle or it might have a fancy edge like mine. Mine are 2 inches diameter, and that is a good size for making for the ball. It doesn't get too fiddly. So all you're going to do is use your punch to make loads and loads of circles. So all you've got to do is get as many as you can out of each page. I've probably got about 4 pages here, so I could get through them a bit quicker if I do a few at a time, but not so many that it's really hard to do. So all you're trying to do is build up a good supply. You can always cut more as you go along, but if you've got a good supply to start with, it's much easier to do the actual ball. So just keep going until you've got quite a pile. You'll see I've got quite a pile before I start. And then it's time to put them on the ball. Now I recommend getting yourself a pencil that's not been sharpened because you've got that nice flat end and it works really well. So take one of your circles, place your pencil in the centre and wrap the circle up around the pencil. Now, the more accurate you are about getting in the middle of the circle, the tidier your ball will be. But I don't get too worried about that. But you can see you've got that nice flat bottom. Apply some glue and then stick it to the ball. And then because you're using a hot or a cool melt glue, it'll stick immediately, which is what you really want. And then just go again. Take your circle, fold it up around the pencil, apply some glue and stick it on next to the other one. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over again until you cover your ball. Now, how close you put them together is up to you. On this ball, I pushed them really close together and got a really solid ball. But I have to say, on the ball that I made for the topiary tree, I was a little more flexible. I left a bit more space. So long as you can't see the ball, that's all that matters. Now, if you're just making a ball, just keep going until the whole thing is covered. And you can see how it goes. You just keep adding them on. If, however, you want to make the topiary tree, don't cover the whole thing just yet because you'll need to put your trunk of your tree in, or a stick as we might call it. So keep going and you can see how it builds up. And when you're all covered, you may have some strings of glue. Just take those off and you'll be all finished, assuming you're just making a ball. And if you're enjoying this video, please make sure you give me a thumbs up below so more people get to see it. And subscribe if you want to see all my projects as they come live on YouTube. So those of you that are doing a topiary tree would probably have stopped by now. You want to make sure probably a good 3/4 covered, but a gap at the bottom to put the stick in. Those of you that are making a ball, nearly there, and then you're finished. And you can make several of those, put them in a bowl, or you can display one. Now, if you're doing your topiary tree, you need to start thinking about the tree trunk. Now, with my 2-inch ball, I'm using a stick that's about 13 inches. Doesn't matter, it's up to you. It depends how tall or short you want it. And all you're going to do is push it into the ball. Now you might find that quite tricky, in which case just use something smaller to make a hole so that it goes in more easily. But you want it to be in there quite tightly. You don't want it coming out. If you're concerned, just put a bit of glue on the end of the stick when you put it in. Now I've used a garden cane. You could use a bit of doweling, you could use whatever you like. You can paint it or leave it how it comes. But once it's in and you've finished covering the ball, you need to look at your pot. Now I'm just using a simple terracotta pot And I placed it down on my cardboard and drew around and then cut it inside to make it smaller. So as you can see, you want a ring of cardboard that sits just inside the top of the plant pot. And you're going to need to make a hole right in the centre that your stick fits through. And make sure that you put that cardboard onto the stick before you add any glue to anything, because you're going to stick the other end of the stick into the bottom of the pot. I'm just going to stick it in with the glue, but it's really common to use stones in the bottom to add some weight, or perhaps a lump of clay on the bottom of the stick, or Play-Doh, plasticine, whatever suits you, whatever you've got to hand. But as you can see, I'm just gluing mine in, and then it'll be helped to stay upright by the fact it's through your piece of card. But you do want it secure in the bottom. Once it's secure, you can glue around the edge of your cardboard and then press that down into the top of your pot, and it just stops anyone seeing inside the pot. And don't worry that it's just plain cardboard, because you get to decorate it however you like. I'm going to use some shredded green paper that was actually some packaging that came, and that's going to make a nice green textured surface. You could use small stones, you could use sand, you could use anything you like, a little piece of felt, something just to make a decorative top. And then once you've got it all glued down, and you'll see I'm just using an all-purpose glue for that, so I covered it all over, you've finished your topiary tree. So whether you've made simple balls or a topiary tree, I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope you enjoy making yours. So please subscribe and remember to watch some more videos and get some more book page projects.